for this.
Hello again, everybody. Andrew Rogers here for TST, Total Sports Talk. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, I'm really happy to be back with you. I apologize for the absence. It's just been busy. It's been really busy over the last few days. Had a lot going on. I'd like to start with a couple of shout-outs. First and foremost, I want to say to all the dads out there, I love being a dad, man. It's just awesome. I had my first great dad experience yesterday when I heard my son say dada for the first time. So, gotta say, that was pretty unbelievable. There's nothing better than hearing that. So, you know what? To all the dads out there, you know what? You guys are all awesome. And we just gotta keep doing what we do in terms of being a dad. Father life, right? Am I right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nothing better, though, than hearing your kid say dada for the first time. So kudos to all the dads out there. Second thing I want to do, though, is give a shout out to all the moms out there. This past Sunday, it was Mother's Day. Every day that I keep doing this, I have so many wonderful, I have 3 wonderful mothers in my life, amongst others, of course. But 3 that are very, very close to home with me. You know, my mother-in-law, my mom herself, and my wife. These 3 women are just absolutely incredible human beings, and I wouldn't be where I am without the help of all 3 of them. And of course my sister and her motherhood, she's just unbelievable, and all the others that I know out there. You hold a special place in my heart, is what I'm saying. Finally, yeah, I'm just you know, I've just been really busy. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm really happy to be back here for TST, Total Sports Talk. So with that being said, we're going to dedicate again this episode to Sick Kids Hospital Foundation. If you want to donate, go to www.sickkids.ca, click on the donate tab, and give. They could all use our help. Switching over now, we got a great show, a lot of sports action in the last couple days to get caught up on. First of all, last night in the NHL, we had a great hockey game in Nashville, game number 3 between the Predators and the Ducks. It was the Nashville Predators coming out on top in this one. Roman Josi had his 5th of the playoffs stand as the eventual game-winning goal that came with 2:44 left in the third period. A crazy third period. A game in which that saw Nashville put 40 shots on John Gibson in the Anaheim net, although according to the coach of Anaheim, Randy Carlyle, a lot of those shots were potentially not actual shots, but I digress, and I'm sure he does as well. Bizarre third period, though. Nashville scoring twice and having both goals disallowed due to goaltender interference. They finally cracked through, though, on the third opportunity and get the winner. Roman Josi, like I said, is 5th of the playoffs on the power play. 2:44 left in the third is the winner. They take a 2-1 series lead in that one. I thought Pekka Rinne looked a lot better in this game than he did in game number 2. Just a lot more confident in the Nashville net. They're going to need him to be huge the rest of the way in the series. Same could be said, though, for John Gibson in the Anaheim net. Now, in terms of tonight, we got game number 3 between the Ottawa Senators and the Pittsburgh Penguins from Ottawa. This series is tied at 1. Game time is 8 p.m. over on CBC. After Bobby Ryan's OT heroics in game number 1, and Phil Kessel is magical in game number 2. I gotta say, I love Phil, and I love all the energy that he gave in the game number 2 there. He was on fire, he was showing his frustration, he was playing with his heart on his sleeve, and really trying to get the team fired up. He had countless chances and wasn't able to bury, and then he eventually broke through in the third period, scoring the winner to lead them to victory. Marc-Andre Fleury with the shutout. He's been absolutely incredible in these playoffs for the Pens. But back to Bobby Ryan. Boy, this guy's an absolute stud. I've liked him ever since he was playing for the Owen Sound Attack. And all of his seasons there, he was just absolutely incredible. He was the captain of the Owen Sound Attack. I actually got to meet Bobby Ryan once when I was about 17 or 18 years old. And what a stand-up guy. He was actually very, very nice. I couldn't believe he was my own age, to be honest, at the time. I was pretty starstruck for sure. Needless to say, I didn't expect him to be... I didn't expect this. He has turned into an absolute stud for the Ottawa Senators in these playoffs. This is a pivotal game tonight for both clubs. They come in very close in the first game and the second game. It'll be interesting to see how tonight shapes up. Interesting note as well, obviously, in this series that's been well documented. It is the first meeting in the playoffs between the first and the second round picks, the first and the second overall picks of the 2005 NHL entry draft that was held during the lockout between Sidney Crosby and Bobby Ryan. Bobby Ryan, of course, goes second overall to the Anaheim Ducks. Crosby goes first overall after the Penguins win the draft lottery that year. Now, obviously, in comparison, you could see that it's no competition. Sid has blown away Bobby Ryan over the course of his career. In terms of Sid, he's played 782 games, scored 1,027 points in those games. Bobby Ryan, 472 points in 669 games. Now, granted, Bobby Ryan didn't start with the Anaheim Ducks until 2 years later. I digress. But Sid, he's blowing away the competition just as he's doing with the league. It's just silly what he's done. He's just been absolutely incredible. So like I say, big game tonight between the Sens and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Excuse me. As far as the Canadian Hockey League goes, we got a little bit of a break here. All of the other conferences have wrapped up their championship series. We have the Memorial Cup tournament that gets started underway on Friday. It'll be contested between Windsor Spitfires, who are the host team, the Erie Otters, the OHL champions, the Seattle Thunderbirds, who won the Western Hockey League for the first time in their 40-year franchise's history, and the St. John's Sea Dogs, winners of the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. I will go into more detail about this series on tomorrow's show as they get set to get underway with the tournament starting on Friday. In terms of the IIHF tournament, the World Hockey Championship saw Canada wrap up prelims with a 5-2 win over Finland. Canada finishes the round-robin play at 6-0-0-1 for an unbelievable tournament-high 19 points in tops in Pool B. Quarterfinals will begin on Thursday with Canada taking on the Germans at 2:15. Other matchups that we'll see are the Czech Republic and Russia at 10:15. Finland against the USA at 10:15. Sweden is at against Switzerland at 2:15. And like I say, Canada and the Germans. Canada will be looking for another huge performance from Mitch Marner. Had 2 goals and an assist for the Canadians over Finland. Just looked absolutely unbelievable. I expect Calvin Pickard to run out the rest of the games for the Canadians as they enter the medal round. Switching over now to the Major League Baseball story, it was the Jays falling again last night to the Atlanta Braves. They fell by a score of 9-5. They fall to 17-23 on the season, just not good enough. Matt Kemp continued his tear on the Toronto Blue Jays. After notching 4 hits on Monday, he went 2 for 5, 4 RBIs last night. Jays now switch over to Atlanta for the next 2 games starting tonight. Joe Biagini is on the mound for Toronto. Updated look now at the AL East standings as we have the Yankees at the top, 23-13. Orioles a half game behind at 23-14. Boston Red Sox are in 3rd place at 20-18, 4 games behind. Tampa is at 20-22, 6 games behind, and the Jays bringing up the rear in the cellar, 17-23, a full 8 games behind. And our final story comes out of the National Basketball Association. Last night, Kawhi Leonard for the San Antonio Spurs did not play, and it showed. Golden State Warriors routing the San Antonio Spurs 136-100, take a commanding 2-0 series lead in that one. It will switch over to San Antonio now for game number 3. 7 Golden State Warriors scored in double figures, including Steph Curry, who led the way, 29 points, 7 boards, and 7 dimes. Game 3, like I say, now shifts over to San Antonio. The question of whether or not will be on everybody's mind for the next few days will be whether or not Kawhi Leonard will play in game number 3. We'll wait and see. What we don't have to wait for is the start of the Eastern Conference Final, finally, between the Cleveland Cavaliers, who seem to be off forever, going up against the Boston Celtics, who survived a miracle in a 7-game series against the Washington Wizards. Kelly Olynyk was just absolutely incredible for the Boston Celtics in game number 7 in their victory over the Wizards. Cavs unbeaten in the playoffs, haven't lost yet. It will be interesting to see if rust will play a factor there. You can watch this game tonight on Sportsnet 1 at 8:30 p.m. Boston and the Cleveland Cavaliers, a matchup of the 1 and the 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Andrew Rogers, happy to be back with you for TST Total Sports Talk. Keep your head up and keep your stick on the ice. It's a pleasure as always, folks, and we'll see you again. Take care.